Alright, guys. Alright, team. Let's go ahead and get started. I am going to speak to you and try to do my best to cover one of my favorite indicators, um, which is a custom made indicator. It's called the Opening Range Dominator. And with that being said, what I like to do is I like to start going into the TradingView and um, create a new chart so I can share this with you and you can have an idea of what are we talking about. All right, so this is a TradingView application. We're going to create a new chart and in here we're just going to create a new chart. So by default, this is what you're going to see on TradingView. So normally what I like to do is I like to change the colors. Um, so I like to have a black background, somewhat. Um, you'll see a lot of stuff over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate everything that you see here. And the way that I'm going to do this is by selecting a different instrument. So we're going to choose 6E, which is the same thing as Euro USD. For those people that trade Forex, it is the same exact instrument. One is Forex and one is futures. Um, you can see, the opening and the close and everything. It's a 30-minute chart here that we have. And again, nothing different than what you're used to. It's just a different chart. But we'll test this with a few instruments. So the way that you add a custom indicator, obviously I will have to add you. You have to request access to the indicator because it's not a public indicator out there. So I had to add you here, and after you request the access and you're added to the members, then you will be able to go in here where it says indicators and where it says invite only indicators. That's where it will show up. So these are some indicators that I have published and one that I am receiving from somebody else. But in here, what I will do is, because it's my own personal indicator, I just look for Opening Range Dominator. And I just click on that. And it should show up in my platform. So I added it 3 times. I have to delete 2 of them. So by default, this is what you're going to see. But once you start zooming out, things will start making a little bit of better sense to you, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So make sure that I am in Eastern time, so make sure that you always are in the correct time zone, because these indicators that are basically working on time frames. You're looking for the opening, which is the cash session open, and you always want to make sure that you are in the right zone. So I have a 30-minute chart here, like I was saying before. So let's see if we're getting the right plots here today. So this one here was at 10:30. So this is not the right plot. So what I gotta do here, I gotta go back in my indicator and I have to adjust that. 9:30 to 10:30. So normally I only use 30 minutes. So I'm gonna just do 10 o'clock. So 9:30 to 10. Let me see if that's what we're getting here. 9:30 to 10. UTC4. It should be accurate. Let's see. Sometimes we have to let me see something because the change of time sometimes ruins a lot of these settings. So I have to make sure that I had the proper setup here. So let's take a look at it in here. So this is at 9:30. So look, here's the configuration because they changed the time. So I have to basically go back and start at 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and this will be Central Time. But look, sometimes you just gotta play with it because in trading there is so many variables when it comes to time zones, and once you get the output that you want, that's all you need. You don't need to focus on anything else. All right, so I will discuss the rest of the stuff as we go along, but for now, we just go through the options here and see what we can come up with. So let's just make this a little lighter so it doesn't interfere so much with it. So what you see is this purple line here is the opening bar. So that's always good to have it selected so you can see the opening bar, and that one is this bar here. Let's see which one is the one that I selected just now. Okay, B1, 2, 3, intermediate level 50% labels. Okay, let's go by options. So you can go here and pick any time. You can go back a year. Normally that's the way I got it. So you can just go back and look at a year. Like I was telling you here, this doesn't matter 7 o'clock in the morning, but here just make sure that you always have the proper time set here. Play with it to make sure that it comes out the right way. So when you look at this scenario here, what we get, and I'm gonna just do a small time frame here so you can see what this is about. This is a 5-minute chart, so I went from 30 minutes to 5 minutes. So what you get here is extensions. So for example, this is the 30-minute range here, this green area. That is a 30-minute range. And when you click here, you get extensions. You get a 50%, 100%, which is 2x of the range, 3x, and it tells you exactly where to go in terms of measurements. So it goes 1, 2, and 3. And then you get a 50% line, which is the yellow one in here. So this is very important because sometimes you get, an extension of 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the opening range. All right, so that's the first option here. Second option is intermediate level. So if you want to see that 50%, it will show you here. If you don't want to see it, then you can just get rid of it. I like it because I can see the midpoints. The initial balance coloration. You can see basically that right here is the first 30 minutes. So it's going to automatically add 30 minutes, and it's going to put it here in purple. So this is basically our range, purple, and the range is fill. We'll cover that. Labels. Those are the labels of the extensions. Color the IB area, which is the interior portion of that. I'll just cover that. Only display the current levels. So if you only want to see this levels from today, then you just make sure that that's on check. So if you want to see previous levels, it's going to pull from other areas. See the other ones from previous day, it's right here. So you're gonna see all those lines from previous calculations. So if you don't want to see that, you just make sure uncheck that, and they all go away. Display delta, which is this right here. This is just tells you some analytics, um, looking back into the last 20 days, the maximum size of the range in the last 20 days, the minimum, the average today, and the status. Obviously, whatever it falls with this small, large, or medium, depending on how many pips in this case you have for the first 30 minutes. It will basically tell you whether it's expanded range or contracted or whatever the case may be. Label size, you can go huge in here if you want to make it bigger. I normally use a tiny. I can do small. Daily price levels width, which is 1. I can do 3. See how big they get. Do 1. Initial balance high levels color. So let's see what that changes. Let's just make it red here. So all the levels above, they'll change. See them green. That would do the levels from below. The red would change it to a different color. And the 50% initial balance, those are the lines here. You can change it to anything you want. You just say you want to change them to white. Actually like it. Extend current levels to the right. Yeah, so if you want to extend it, just keep it moving. Main levels line solid, which is the main level here. So if I do dotted, you'll see a dot here. I have a solid. Extended lines are dashed. The IB, the initial balance area background color. Let's do red here. See what changes. Let's do blue. And this one, I don't know. I have not used this one before, but that's okay. This one is just gonna give us the zones. So this one is green. So if I change that to red, so if it's above it, it's gonna be green. If it's below it, it's gonna be red. Fill up background. It's the same thing. Style, initial balance calculation. This is that right there. You can change it to whatever you want. And visibility, it just stays by default. So what this does is, if you take a look at this, for example, let's just find a range that hasn't been mitigated to the full extent. It's probably hard in this index here, but I'm sure we can find one. Let's look at 6B. Okay, 6B. Let's look at 6A. Okay, so what you're gonna see here, for example, is on this particular instrument is that RTH opened for the US cash session today, opened here, and it just went down and it never came back up. So this red area here is resistance. That's what it's telling us, because it's above and it will extend until it's fully mitigated. And once it's fully mitigated, it will look like this. And even a wick would just fill that. So it just needs that. It just needs to be mitigated. So by mitigation means that is price came back and traded right through it. That was a good one there. And again, if we just focus on the first 30 minutes. So let's take a look at the ES. Now the ES just collapsed today. Okay, I don't see many areas. Let's look down here. Let's take a look at the NQ. Sorry for all the drawings that you see here. This is basically what I use every day, and I work with these charts, so you will see a lot of drawings. Perhaps none in here in the RTY. I don't trade RTY a lot anymore, but I wanted to see if we can find a zone that hasn't been fully mitigated in how it stands out. I have ETH. Yep, this is a contract rollover. See if I can find an area here. Nope. Everything is for the most part mitigated. So this is Bitcoin futures. Wow, this dropped $10,000 in one day. Oh no, not in one day. 1, 2, 3 days. Wow, that's a big. Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm not seeing. I hope I'm doing this the right way. I'm not seeing many unmitigated areas. Oh, there's one here. So this is what you will see. This is the opening range. Obviously, this is just. All right, let me do GC futures. See if we can find one. Mitigated. So a lot of these things are mitigated, which is very surprising because most of the times you're gonna find areas that aren't mitigated, and those are great because for the purpose of the example that I'm trying to illustrate here, those areas are support and resistance, and that's what I wanted to point out. That there are support and resistance, and you will see them as well. Look at the VIX. All right, let me take a look at a different instrument here. Forex. Let's go on Euro USD. Euro USD. Okay, maybe we got one down here somewhere. Huh. Interesting. 9:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30. So see, you got to be careful. Once you start switching instruments, that's when things get a little tricky, because the exchange, there are different exchanges, there are different things here that you have to keep into consideration. Let me see if I can change this here to RTH only. This one is mitigated. Yeah, I should be having some unmitigated areas here. Let's see. This is at 10:30. So let's do 8:30 to 9. Should have some areas. All of that's mitigated. All of that is mitigated. I don't see anything here. It's just Uh, yeah, it's hard to find any that has not been mitigated. So um, we just need to find them. Well, once we find them, you'll be able to see what I was talking about. But anyways, long story short is that that is the purpose of the indicator. So hopefully you get something out of it, and we'll share more with you in the next probably next video or text lessons. All right, you take care. Have a great day.